When you look at Cote d'Ivoire, at least for someone who's sitting outside the region, the sense one gets is that this should be an economy on the rise, particularly given the end of the war and then, of course, the prices that we have seen for commodities. Are you getting the sense that Cote d'Ivoire is fulfilling its economic potential?
I think far from it. Last year was a difficult year for the country, with the economy shrinking by 5.8%. I think to really unlock the economic potential of the country, there needs to be political stability. So that's a key consideration. And I think to understand the political dynamics is critical in any understanding of the Ivory Coast. So in that sense, I think we need to understand the complete context. There was a disputed election result in November 2010. There were 3,000 civilians who died, over 1 million people displaced. The ethnic cleavages run quite deep in the Ivory Coast. And as a result, things aren't going to return to normal overnight.
But what are you saying about the current efforts of the government to try to get things to run smoothly over? As you point out, it's not going to happen overnight. But are we seeing the right steps being taken by this government to try to ensure that the political stability that they are lacking now is brought into place?
I think we are seeing some positive momentum in the political sphere, and that bodes well. We had legislative elections in December 2011, and that went off relatively violence-free. And the incumbent government did quite well at the polls, which is an indication for foreign investors for policy continuity. So that bodes well. As a result, that means that the incumbent government, the ruling coalition, now has a mandate to kick on. And we saw the government being dissolved last week, or the cabinet being dissolved last week, and we are now seeing the legislative results now being translated into practice.
Right.
So that bodes well. In terms of the economic expansion, we now have a stable government, which is definitely a positive. Commodity prices remain elevated: cocoa, gold, oil, all of which are key components of the Ivorian economic structure.
Yeah.
And that is definitely a positive. We've also seen sanctions being lifted, which were imposed against the Gbagbo regime. All of which will serve to unlock the economic potential of the country. We see reinvestment as well. So economic growth should be in excess of 7% this year.
Yeah.
But the key determining factor is definitely political stability.
Yeah. Now, of course, 7% of a law base. So while that 7% is impressive on its own, there's also the issue of where it's coming from. But before we talk about that, I just wanted to go back to the political stability, the issue that you referred to. And I warn you, I'm building up this because I'm going to ask you to give me where you think they are and whether you think this economy is being fairly rated by the rating agencies. Just in terms of that political stability, how high is the risk here that we could see a relapse to the conflict that has ravaged this country for the past few years?
No, it's very high. The peace remains very, very fragile. There are a whole host of complex issues that the ruling government needs to address. Amongst these are security, reintegrating former militants, former combatants into the fabric of society in a country which has basically been divided into two for over a decade is going to be difficult. Furthermore, political reunification of the country is going to prove a major challenge. We must realize that 46% of the population did not vote for President Ouattara, which means that the divisions are quite deep. We've got a Truth and Reconciliation Commission which has been launched, and the government needs to be careful not to propagate a victor's justice and alienate the former Gbagbo supporters, as we're trying to, as the government needs to look to build a national identity for the Ivory Coast, which has been divided for over a decade.
Yeah, so clearly this is a country that needs international support. Now we know that this is also a government, well, not this government particularly, but this is a country that has defaulted on its debt payments. So in order to be able to get back into international markets, of course, the issue of what they've done in the past needs to be taken into account. How high are the prospects that these guys will be able to get support internationally, first into the international markets themselves, and then also secondly, of course, support from Western governments and other donors?
Support from Western governments seems to be forthcoming. The World Bank, the IMF, the French government have all pledged support to the country. The country's still in default though.
Yeah.
So on its $2.3 billion US dollar Eurobond, it's missed the last 3 coupon payments. There are plans to resume these payments at the end of June this year.
Sure.
However, we'll have to wait and see about that. I think what's going to be a key trigger to getting things going again in terms of foreign investor appetite is HIPC completion point under the IMF World Bank initiative.
Right.
That was held hostage as a result of the political crisis that ensued in 2010. And I think once it fulfills that target, I think we could see a significant reduction in the country's external debt,
Right.
and that bodes well for the country's reconstruction and for investor sentiment. And that would be a key trigger in that regard.
Sure. So if you were advising businesses that are looking to invest in Cote d'Ivoire, what would your advice and recommendation be?
I think, first of all, I'd say be quite cautious.
Yeah.
It is a very difficult place to do business. You've got lingering security threats, you've got ethnic divisions, you've got infrastructure that's been badly neglected for a long time. You've got endemic corruption in the country. So it's a very difficult place to do business. However, there is huge upsides if you find the risks palatable. So as the country starts to recover, as a credible economic government with President Ouattara starts to get things going and galvanize the economy, there is definitely some major upside. I think we've seen gold production is expected to double by 2013. There have been discoveries of oil off the Ivorian coast. So there are positives, but there are definitely a number of risks to be mindful of.
Yeah, you mustn't forget, of course, Mr. Ouattara is a former World Bank IMF official,
correct.
so this is a guy who might be held in high regard in international markets. Final question, and it's coming. I warned you about it long before we started discussing this. So, if you were sitting at S&P or, let's say, Moody's, and you were rating the Ivory Coast in terms of its credit rating, what would you give it?
I'm loath to speculate on other agencies' methodologies. I do think, however, that there are a number of key trigger points which need to be looked at. HIPC completion point and the repayment of the country's Eurobond are two of those. I think political stability is definitely the key determinant, and I think the legislative elections last year were a positive development, but the system is far from being politically inclusive. And dealing with that fallout is going to be key in getting the Ivory Coast back onto a sustainable path.
Absolutely. Ronak is hedging his best. He sits, of course, with RMB and is a sovereign analyst. And as we know, the sovereign analysts haven't had the best of records in recent months. But that's not to say anything against Ronak. He's said it very clearly. He's not going to speculate.